Before we start making our smoothies and our smoothie bowls, let's go through a few of the tools of the trade to get you prepared for making some really great, tasty smoothies. First thing, most importantly, is to make sure you have a good high-powered blender or a smoothie maker. So I have two examples here. One is a traditional blender, and then one is a Magic Bullet. They also make like mini smoothie blenders. There's actually battery-powered smoothie blenders now. So there's a plethora of different options out there for you. But the key is to make sure what you have has a good high-powered motor, because you're going to be using frozen fruit and or ice, so you need something to be able to chop all that up. So okay, we have our tools. So now what do we want to do? Well, we have certain items that are the base for smoothies. So the first thing we want to start with is to make sure we have our fruit. And we have all sorts of fruit here, and you want to make sure the fruit is frozen. So I've just a few examples. I have some frozen pineapple if you were going to do more of a tropical type flavor. I also have some frozen berries, which we're going to be using later on for our smoothie demo. Then I've also have bananas. Now, it's hard to find frozen bananas, so what I did was I took fresh bananas, sliced them, put them on a parchment paper, popped them in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and now I have some nice frozen bananas. So why you want to use frozen fruit instead of ice cubes is that it's going to make that smoothie nice and thick and frothy, especially if you're going to take the smoothie and make it into a smoothie bowl. So we have our fruit, we're good to go, that's our base. Second, we want to have some type of a thickener to make that smoothie have some body. So here are some examples of thickener. We've got some Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. Big fan of the Greek yogurt, higher in protein. It's a thicker yogurt. I like the plain because remember, you're going to have sugar from your fruit. So the plain yogurt doesn't have any added sugar. If you are opting for more of a vegan type of smoothie, you could go with a tofu. Either I have a firm tofu here, or you could use a silken tofu. You could also use things such as nut butters. Here's a peanut butter. Here's an almond butter. You can also use soy butters. Again, these are all things that give nice and a thickening action for your smoothie. What do they all have in common? They're also great sources of protein. And remember, when you're building a smoothie, we want to make sure that it's not all carbohydrate, that we have our fruit, which is our carbohydrate, but we also have our protein to balance it off so we're not spiking up our blood sugar. Okay, so we have our fruit, we have our thickener, now we need our liquid. You can go several different ways with liquid. You could do fruit juice, but again, keeping in mind that is going to increase your added sugar, or you could go with some of the non-dairy options. I have here coconut milk. Again, that pairs really nicely with the pineapple for more of a tropical smoothie. You could do almond milk, which is what I'll be using today for our smoothie demonstrations. You could use whole milk, soy milk, oat milk, anything you want. You could even use plain water, coconut water, whatever liquid you so desire for whatever recipe. Then we have some add-ons, and the add-ons are there depending on what the goal is for your smoothie. So if you're doing a recovery smoothie for after an exercise routine, or you are in a higher protein diet, then perhaps you want to add some protein powder. So a couple of examples. This is a vegan protein powder. It's called Orgain, one of my favorites. Or if you don't want to spend that added money and you just want a whole basic food, you could go just with traditional dry milk. Okay, so obviously if you're going vegan, you don't want dry milk, but the dry milk is going to give you whey protein and casein, both great amino acids, great proteins for recovery nutrition. Besides the added protein to your smoothie, you may want to put something like chia seeds. Chia seeds or flax seeds are nice little additives. The chia seeds are going to give you a little bit extra fiber and some protein. The flaxseed is going to give you some omega-3 fatty acids. And then finally, for that added extra bit of fiber, especially if it's a breakfast smoothie, you could add some rolled oats. This is really tasty if you were doing an apple cinnamon smoothie. Even the pumpkin smoothie we're going to do in a moment, adding some oats, grinding that right up into your smoothie is going to add a nice little fiber. Remember, when you're building your smoothie and deciding what you want to add, it's all about that balance. It's about balancing the carbohydrate and sugar content with the protein content, with the fiber content, with the fat. And you want to add that all together to balance it off to make sure that it is a nutritionally complete meal and or snack.